Hey friends, it's Sarah here. Today I'm going to be working in my 2018 Project Life album using the Letters Home Documenter Kit from Studio Calico. This is the Documenter Kit that is releasing for October 2018. But before we get into the process, I wanted to go ahead and share this is a silk screen that comes in the kit this month. You get this really pretty leaf with the home sentiment, and you also get a paint in the color Lemon Zest. So it's a really fun, vibrant yellow color, and it would work really well for a lot of different projects. But I wanted to go ahead and try this out using a dye ink in creme brulee and a pigment ink in lemon zest, and I just wanted to see the difference between the two and sort of the effect that I got. So I'm going to share this with you. You can kind of see that with the pigment ink, which is a wetter consistency, it came out looking a lot more crisp around the edges, and the creme brulee, which is the dye ink, it came out a little bit more hazy, a little bit more kind of organic and natural looking. So I really liked how the dye ink looked for the leaves. I think if it was a different illustration or if it was the sentiment, I would probably prefer the crisper look of the pigment ink. But for this page and kind of the colors that were going on in this week's spread, I felt like the creme brulee dye ink worked a little bit better. So that's the card that I'm going to go ahead and use. And one thing to note is that the pigment ink does dry a lot slower than the dye ink. I actually left that card overnight and it was finally dry, but it definitely took a lot longer to dry. So you could take a heat tool or something to it to kind of quicken up that process. But just something to note, if you're someone that is impatient like me, you might prefer the dye inks over the pigment. But anyway, so that is the card that I chose, and I'm going to kind of rearrange my photos and my cards here. I want to apologize. Some of my spread is off camera for this process. I had a larger spread that I was working on here, and I didn't realize that you couldn't see some of this. So, but I think you still get a very good idea of kind of my process. So I decided to go ahead and post this video anyways. But anyways, I'm going to be rearranging things right up until the very end of this video, and I am kind of all over the place. I'm going to be working on this page as a whole as opposed to kind of working on one card and then moving on to the next. So just a little warning there that it's going to be a little all over the place, but I'm going to start with my title card here. I'm going in with the new alpha that released for October. This, I believe, is called the Lucy Alpha, but I'll have everything linked in the description box below. And this worked out perfectly for spelling out September since there are 9 letters, so it worked in sort of a 3x3 grid. And that was perfect for this 3x4 title card. I had quite a few 4x6 photos for this week, and so I needed to kind of use the 4x6 slots for my photos, and so I need my title card to be in a 3x4 photo, or a 3x4 pocket, so that worked out perfectly right there. And you can see I even cut down one of my 4x6 photos in half so I could slip that into 2 of my 3x4 pockets. So I'm going to go through what I have here in the kit. I'm going to spell out Oak Glen using the alphas from the kit, and I'm going to adhere it onto that photo, which is where this photo was taken. We went on a family hike together, which is kind of nice. The weather is a little bit cooler, at least where we went, and that was kind of nice to do a little fall activity. But I will tell you, it is very difficult strapping on a 20-pound baby and then going for even an easy hike. I was sweating so much by the time we finished, and I was so tired and my neck hurt. So I'm going to have to figure out a different solution for the next time we go. But anyways, it was nice to get out, and after the hike, we kind of had a little family picnic. We sat under a big tree and had some of these apple cider donuts, which is that photo that I'm working with right there. And yeah, just a nice sort of introduction into fall and some of the activities. I love fall. I'm sure I've said this in my other videos, but it is definitely my favorite season. So all of my journaling cards and filler cards have already been printed for this week. So you can see I already have all of my journaling typed up and all of that good stuff. But because I had actually printed out these cards as opposed to using the cards that were in the kit, the cardstock was a little bit more flimsy. So when I pulled up that photo because I wasn't happy with the card that it was on, it really kind of ruined the card. So I am going to go in later and create my own filler card using some of the stamps that were included in the stamp set. And I really like how that ended up looking. So I'm almost happy that I ruined that card that I was working on, but in the end it all sort of came together. So I'm just punching out some of these chipboard embellishments and placing them down. I love the chipboard pieces every month, and I really love that you can kind of punch them out and move them around on your layout so you can get sort of the perfect placement before actually sticking anything down. So I'm going to take this card that I had worked on earlier, and I'm going to stamp out favorites. I think it says people, places, things, just to add a little something more to that card. And then I think this is where I'm going to go ahead and work on another filler card. Before I do that, I think I'm going to work on this photo here. I'm going to use one of the black acetate shapes that came in the kit just to adhere currently. With all of these acetate shapes, I ended up adhering them using my tiny attacher as opposed to glue. So that just worked a little bit better since the sentiments are nice and thin and they can be sort of adhered that way. So I'm going to go ahead and create this filler card. I just pulled a few different ink colors and I'm just randomly sort of stamping these little leaves around this card. And then this is going to be a nice filler. I'm going to bring in a chipboard piece just to kind of accent it, and that will complete this card. So that's pretty much it for this layout. I'm going to be adding in just a few more embellishments. But like I said, I will have everything linked down below, so any of the products that you see here, you can go ahead and click on over. And hopefully you enjoyed this process video that was a little bit scattered and off of the camera. But anyways, if you did enjoy this video, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing if you're new to my channel. And I will see you guys again very soon. Bye!